It's a debate that stirs up controversy whether pit bulls should be allowed in the city of Ottumwa. Recently, many residents have begun to speak up about their passion to end the pit bull ban. Resident Larissa Droz is sharing how this ban led to her having to get her dog out of the city.
It's been kind of empty for everybody. My daughter and my son really miss her, and I miss her too, but it's harder for the kids because it's always harder to watch your kids suffer.
It all began after a noise complaint.
It was my other dog that was barking. Then he asked what kind of dog he was, and I told him I wasn't sure. I think he's a Great Dane Lab mix, and he said okay, he wasn't really worried about that dog. He was more concerned about the dog I put in the truck, wanted to know what kind of dog she was, and I said she's a Bulldog Terrier. And he's like, oh, he just kind of looked like I had just said pit bull, even though I hadn't.
She was told she needed to get her dog Bella looked at by their veterinarian.
He told me that if she did come back a pit, that I would have through the weekend to get her out of the city.
Sure enough, the vet deemed Bella to have characteristics of a pit bull, which City Administrator Philip Rath says the ordinance states is not allowed in the city.
It's not only pit bulls that wouldn't be allowed. If some animal has characteristics, is aggressive, bites, has tendencies, they are also dangerous animals and would be not allowed in the city.
Droz says she never knew a dog that is even similar looking to a pit bull wasn't allowed in the city.
I've had my dog for 7.5 years in town, walking her in public, taking her places. She was always with us. And so for somebody to come after 7.5 years and be like, oh, well, people hide them. She was never in hiding. I was never under the impression she was a pit bull or that she resembled a pit bull or anything like that. And I guess I'd never really looked at the law to understand that if they decided she had any features of a pit bull, she wouldn't be allowed in the city either.
Right now, I'm in Eddyville, where there is no ban on pit bulls and where Bella would be allowed to live. But in only a couple of miles, I'm in Ottumwa city lines, where Bella is considered a vicious animal.
If it was just a vicious animal law, it would have never been an issue because she's not vicious at all. I've never seen her do anything that would make me slightly concerned.
Droz isn't the only one who lost a beloved pet due to the ban. Another resident, Connie West, lost her dog Toby that also had pit bull characteristics after he escaped his leash.
My granddaughters are wondering why he had to leave. They miss him and are hoping that I can get him back. I have 5 granddaughters who play with him routinely, and they're missing him.
Rath says the city is aware that the ordinance needs a change, but he is unsure whether the ban will be removed or not.
The goal would be to make sure that animals are treated humanely, and if someone is going to have an animal as a pet, that pet is taken care of.
Rath says the difference between Ottumwa and surrounding cities is an incident that happened 20 years ago. A young child was mauled by a pit bull. This led to the ban. Rath also says that no matter the decision the council makes, there will be backlash, but he has a plan for either outcome.
If the city council were to decide not to change the code regarding the ban, we've had that code in place for decades. Even prior to that incident, there was limitations on pit bulls in the city going back to the 80s. If we were to remove that, or if the city council were to approve that, then it's socializing the animals, integrating them, educating the public as to this is now allowed. So if they see pit bulls in the community, at the dog park or wherever else, that there's an understanding that is okay.
As for Droz and West, they just want the ordinance to not deem an animal vicious by breed alone.
I understand, a 6-pound Chihuahua isn't going to obviously tear a person apart, but it's going to hurt somebody. So, having the vet or having some type of law in place where they can assess if a dog's actually vicious or a danger to people.
I would just like them to deem each dog pit bull or not pit bull by its own deeds. Toby's been nothing but friendly and obedient pet, and now he's in doggy prison waiting and hoping I can get him home.
Rath plans to present the city with a revised ordinance mid-March. In Ottumwa, Tasha Turner, KTVO.